Right, guys, welcome back to Football United TV. This is Gunners from All Corners, the show where we say Arsenal in multiple different accents. Like I've been doing recently, I want to start by sending my prayers to the people of the Ukraine. I hope the war ends very soon. This is foolish, and yeah, just hope everyone keeps safe, everyone and their loved ones as well. Our thoughts are with you. Stay tuned after the intro. All right. Welcome back, guys. We're gonna have some familiar faces joining soon, but as of now, we have two new faces on the channel. Gonna start with my man Gary. Don't waste a tweet. We had a stream together on Steven's channel that was really fun and legend, mate. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right. Where are you talking from, my man?
I am in New Jersey, so on the east coast of the U.S. right now. So yeah, just finished work. So it's like what 5 o'clock p.m. over here. So almost the weekend is here. Finally.
All right. All right. And one of my best friends, my good old friend Lucas. My friend from college, Brazilian from Rio, does live in London. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm in London, so a bit later for me, 10 p.m.
Yeah,
But all good Friday night, chilling. Pleasure to be here.
yeah, man. By the way, guys, like you gotta appreciate the effort of a man that goes from the Brazilian summer to the London winter. That's tough. That's very tough. Tough on anyone. But yeah, pleasure to have you here, man. I was telling Gary in the background, Lucas and I like, well, Lucas has a couple of family members that are like that too, but he's the only other person in the world that I know that supports both Fluminense and Arsenal. Terrible choice, right? Like supporting both these clubs. We suffer a lot, but we suffer together. Good friend of mine.
Maybe Wellington Silva.
I I
Maybe
have like
Wellington Silva.
when I that's a good point. When I close my camera in the past, I used to have a Wellington Silva picture in the place of this. I had a
And
Wellington
this
Silva.
he had Wellington Silva.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one player I can think of that played for both clubs. I do hope more come because Fluminense has some exciting players. But we're not here to talk about Fluminense, guys. We're here to talk about Arsenal. We have three subjects here for you guys today. What do I start with? You know what? Because of the comments, because of the Mikel Arteta talk said, "Hey, big up, come on, you Gunners." Yes, new faces, big up people. Let's start with the Arteta talk then. Oh, there you go. This is a Brazilian fest here. Caio, all the way from São Paulo. How are you, man?
Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys?
Yeah.
Doing
He
good.
looks like a new face, but he's not. Just then. It's a
Baby
new
face.
trim. Baby face.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So we're gonna start. We're gonna be previewing the Watford game. We're also gonna be talking about who's our February Player of the Month. But let me start with this. Let me take advantage of the fact that the most like negative people are not here yet. So let's start with this. Does Arteta deserve a 3-year contract? I want to ask each one of you your thoughts on this, and if you don't think he does, like I want to hear like what you guys think is missing for him to deserve those 3 years. Lucas, I want to start with you, dude. What are your thoughts on
Um,
Arteta?
I have to say, back in August, I was in the Arteta out camp, and I changed my mind.
Okay.
I think now looking back, August was too early to judge. But he's brought in some players to get rid of the players he wanted to get rid of. I think if you look at like Aubameyang now, who he's been off the team and we've been better without him. He's gone, he's scoring, but if it didn't match, it didn't match, and that's it. I think he's ruthless. He makes tough calls,
Yeah.
and the results are better. The team is playing well, so I think even in some of the games that we didn't win, like Palace and Everton, we got unlucky with some strange decisions from the referees, to say the least.
Absolutely.
So right now, I would have to say yes. I think unless he crashes between now and the end of the season, which I don't think he will. I think he does. I think he does. You look at how hard it is to turn the club around. You look at United, who are still a mess. I mean, Spurs were good a couple of years ago, but Spurs are Spurs. They're always going to be shit, so it doesn't matter. But so yeah, I think he does.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that, Gary. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I did just hear them recently, but not on this channel. If you can repeat that, please.
Yeah, I mean, does he deserve it? I mean, I guess I have some caveats with it because, like, right now, no. I think he still needs to show a little bit more for me. I believe because this is now he's shown us something, and he's shown us every season. He's shown us something good that we've liked. Right, his first time out, he won an FA Cup. The next year, we showed us that there is a style of play, or there's a look that he wants to get out of his team, and we see it once in a while. We just don't see it consistently. And once again, this year, he's done it again, where he's shown us kind of how he liked to play. And I kind of always go back to that City game, that first like 45 minutes, and I'm like, if that's what he wants to do, then yeah, I think every Arsenal fan enjoyed that 45 minutes, regardless of what happened in the next 45 minutes. But we enjoyed that and want to see a lot more of that. So if that's where he's going, then yes, that's a good look. But right now, I would say no right now. And I know the teams are discussing it, but I would say no right now. I kind of would like to see him actually have some pressure and then see him, power through. I think that's what I would like to see, because it's been somewhat, for me, easy. He hasn't had any stress on him, so I kind of feel like I like to see him power through and, have some adversity. In this case, will I have a job in the future, and then show us what he can do. Yeah, fourth place right now is all up to Arsenal, right? It's all in our hand. We can control it, regardless of what anybody else does. We've got games in hand. We're on it. We're on a good roll. We just have a lot of risks, a lot of ifs. If we're healthy, if we don't get red cards, if we don't get ill, then yeah, it's all up to us to get it. So yeah, I like to see him take this challenge and actually, succeed through it before I consider him getting a 3-year contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Kaio, before I go to you, let me just read the comments here. Hi, cuz. No to the 3-year contract. I figured you'd say that, cousin. Yes, panel. Mr. Silva Fox back. Welcome back, my man. So he thinks we fully deserve it. If we get top 6, if we get top 4, he deserves manager of the season. That's a bold claim. I'm not sure I disagree with it though, because it's a big thing getting top 4 with the team we have, with the young team we have. So Maddie agrees with me. He wants Mr. Silva Fox on the panel. We'll get that sorted out for next week. Caio, what are your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, that's a great question, because people that know me knows that I am a big Arteta guy. I praise the manager. I think that he's top of the top. But football is a results-based sport, so I think that either way, we should not be talking about this right now, because we have top 4 in our horizon. So right now, it seems reasonable to say Arteta deserves a 3-year contract, and if he delivers it, then sure, no problem. I think there will not be any downsides to giving him the 3-year deal. But in the end of the season, even if he doesn't deliver top 4, then we can discuss about it. It's all about perspective. Maybe we will be 1 point out of top four, and then he will deserve either way. But maybe we are just excited about the football right now. So I think that this talk would be better to be held in the end of the season. Either way.
I'll make sure to remember that, and I'll have another stream where we'll talk about this for sure. But like Lucas said, I'm quite confident. I feel like Arteta has, like, in his very short record he has with us, because he hasn't been a manager for too long. I feel like he usually does better towards the end of the season than he does towards the beginning. So if we're sitting where we are right now, I'm quite optimistic. Plus, with the shambolic performances that United, Spurs, even West Ham are too inconsistent. Like, I feel like we're gonna be edging them. Liverpool going in for Saka next season. Hope he doesn't leave. I mean, if we don't get Champions League football, I'm gonna start being worried about these young players for sure. Not only Liverpool, because they don't even have like that much money, but like the cities, the Real Madrids. I can see them going for Martinelli, for Saka, for ESR. Caio looking fresh with the trim, bro. All right. Do you guys feel like this? I mean, they're saying, has he renewed already? Because I'm not actually entirely sure, but it looks like he's gonna renew, right? And it's gonna be 3 years. I feel like the three doesn't really matter much. We want him to be our manager now. We want him to be our manager next season. We're pretty much protecting him from, like Man City going after him if Pep leaves next season. Barcelona getting him if they decide not to go with Xavi, even though he's doing really well. Do you agree with that? It's more of a protection thing. It doesn't mean that we're necessarily like certain that he's going to be good for 3 years.
I hope. I was gonna say I hope not, because every time we try to put a contract in to keep the value of our players, it never
It usually
works.
blows up in our face.
So
Yeah.
I don't want us to do that again with a manager. I mean, I kind of feel like he's on the right track. I mean, I always say Arsenal wants us to. They want us to to wait, but I don't want to. I don't think most fans want to wait to see how this thing's going to end. We want to see some results right now, especially if we're Arsenal. We want to see results now. That should not be a we're not asking them for too much, because that's what they've given us in the past, right? They've given us some successes, and the team is big enough that we shouldn't have to wait too long, right? And I think most fans will say they've been waiting for like decades, all right? Almost 2 decades now they've been waiting. So at some point it needs to come, and we're seeing glimpses, but not enough. So we I'll wait, but I don't want to. It's kind of how I always how I respond to these types of
I
things.
think we're really close though. That's why I'm fine with extending him. I think if you look at the team now, we have two holes.
Yeah.
We could replace Shaka. We need to replace Lacazette. I think if you bring in those two players in the summer, and I think maybe one other backup midfielder to be take on Nenny's place on the bench, and another backup striker, then I think we'll have done very well. I think I think we're so close. There's no point restarting all over again with a new manager.
That's pretty much my stance as well. I've been like I'm a guy that tends to be sitting on the fence. I was Arteta out for most of this season, but I had to jump back on the fence with the performances he's been having recently. And we gotta be like, it's a small squad. It's a really young squad as well. And yeah, it's looking good. I feel like we need a couple more bench options than Luca just mentioned. We definitely need like two strikers, not just one. Probably two midfielders, perhaps one more defender after Saliba comes in, because I feel like Holding's not really someone we can trust on long term. But yeah, Caio, do you have any thoughts on that? What we just said?
That's interesting to think about it, because I agree that we should not restart with another manager. We are far ahead in the development of this project with Arteta, and I think that the renewal is much about this. Is very much about the ownership showing the fans that they support the manager and they agree with the path that Arsenal is taking right now. But I would even say that our squad is not bad for what we are doing now. No European competitions. Of course, we would like to have another striker, not even a backup striker, a first 11 striker, and midfield options too. But as far as we don't have any injuries, we are good for competing for top four. And I would say that top three is not out of question because Chelsea will have some problems in the next few weeks, I think, and some turbulence. So let's see.
You don't have to say that with a smile, but yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Well, we have Nitesh that just joined us, but right before I talk to him, let me just read out the comments. You try, okay, man. We'll get it sorted for sure. We'll get it sorted. We can change the time slightly as well. Uh, well, Matt thinks he's nice by saying Arsenal can show Man United how to beat Watford, right, Marley? But I think he's just trying to jinx us because he's a butthole. That's the way he is. But I think we're going to be winning that game. We're going to be touching on it very soon. We need Laka to stay one more year. It's going to be tough to get two strikers in one window. He's not scoring. I'm not sure I want that, but I can ask the panel.
I would take him
And
for a year, not two.
yeah, perhaps that's fair. We can play him as a DM. I've been suggesting that. Now you can trust Holding. Do not watch the Wolves game. That's why we need him. I feel like we can trust him now. When we start fighting for bigger things, I don't necessarily think he's gonna be a good fit.
I on Holding, I always felt like he's always at the scene of the crime. You know, he's always right there, just front row seats. I mean, if you go back to some of the games where he's kind of made some, some mistakes. The City game where he got out, headed by Sterling. And I think is it the West Ham or Villa game where he kind of wasn't able to make a good clearance, and you're like, I think he's good in spots, but we can't like necessarily depend on him to go. It's like Cedric, where he's playing really good right now, but a couple games ago that he played, you're kind of like, ooh, we can't do this. And when is Tomiyasu back, right? So he has it. They have their times, and it's good now. So you got to ride it while you can, but long term, nah, you don't want to have to depend on that because I think.
But I think Holding as your fourth center back is fine.
Yeah.
One more season. I think we have much bigger problems in other places.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not looking to replace him next season. I'm talking, I'm talking the season after, because next season I feel like it's going to be two strikers and a midfielder. I really like we're going to have two attackers and a midfielder. Nitesh, my man, welcome back on the channel. The man beyond the posts. Do you feel like Arteta deserves a three-year renewal?
I think irrespective of what happens this season, he's going to get the renewal. That was always the plan. The only thing that he has done this season now is actually quieten maybe some of the Arteta out fans about the contract extension part. If the season wasn't going as per plan and we were like towards the bottom half of the table, I think there would have been a lot more ranting and shouting against it. But overall, if you see, I think no one can say right now, apart from maybe Steven, that he doesn't deserve a contract. And I think that was already on the cards. It's just when they want to announce it, maybe they'll take the right moment. Maybe when we beat Spurs, they will probably announce and extend it, or maybe at the end of the season. But it was always going to happen because they believe in the project. That is the owners and the board. So even if some fans don't, I think they will do what they want to do. That's always been Arsenal for us across the last 2 decades at least.
All right, fair enough. Well, we're gonna move on to talk about who's our February Player of the Month. Before that, though, very quickly, 8 people watching right now. Thank you. Those are good numbers. If you haven't yet, please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Guys, I think Lucas has commented on this already that he would take Lacazette for another year. Mr. Silva said the same thing. Would you agree? Would you take him for another season? Gary?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like most, I feel like Arsenal's transfer business is too slow. with that in mind, and the fact that not only are going to we losing Lacazette, who's kind of seemed like a good influence on the team, we're losing his leadership, and if we are transitioning away from him, it sounds like Tierney might be the number 2 coming, right now. And if that's the case, then it'd be nice to have that transitional period next season, and also have his leadership, because he does bring it when he comes on the field. So I could see that being a case, especially if we're going to spend big on whatever striker we get, because I assume whatever striker we get should be our number 1 striker.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have Lacazette sitting behind him if need be, and then we'll see about the 3rd striker after that. But yeah, no, I would be okay with that. I know it sounds like I don't know if he's going to want to do that, right? I think he wants more than a year, so that might be the problem there. So, but
I don't even think he wants to stay. I think he wants to go anyway. But Nitesh and Caio, I'm gonna ask for a yes or no really quickly, because I still want to get Bargav's opinion on all of this. Would you take him for another year, Nitesh? Yes or no?
More than a year. Yes.
You would take him for more than a year. Okay. Caio.
Yes. Let's say that.
All right. Brogav, my man. I think you're in Florida right now. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yo, thanks for having me, man. I mean, just got off work, so sorry about being late. Hey, everybody. Nitesh, DWTT, don't waste the trip, or tweet. Which one is it? I forget.
It's actually both, depending on the WTT actually stands for "Don't Waste the Trip," but on Twitter on Twitter it says "Don't Waste the Tweet," just as a play on words.
Honestly, that's a positive message with the name, man. I'll be honest, but I get both. And Caillou, seen you before, and you're new, man. So top right, I forgot his name, but
Yeah, good to meet you, man. Lucas.
good to meet you. Yeah. So to answer the question, I mean, does he deserve a 3-year contract? I mean, I'm gonna put it this way: I'm still conflicted on this one. There's 2 parts to this, because I think on a cultural basis, I think they're making a shift towards a culture in some ways, and I think he's one of those parts that's part of that change. So it's hard to replace that continuity. So you might want to keep him, but at the same time, I just don't see it tactically with Arteta still. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't. I feel like a lot of the games that we have won, they're not clear cut, if that makes sense. The opposition has a lot of chances that they could have put the game away, and we've kind of, there's a lot of randomness to some of the results. So for me, I just with giving Arteta a new contract, I mean, obviously he's young, right? He's definitely young. I don't think any manager has complete control over what happens on the pitch. But at the same time, there's some stuff that you have to coach into people, and against weaker teams, it's expected. We have better quality normally, so you can make results happen. But at the same time, against the big teams, we don't create chances, and I don't see him. There's a couple games, obviously, he's won against Chelsea a couple years ago. We put off some results against Man City and Liverpool. But in certain games, we've gotten annihilated with chances. And that's definitely not there's a lot of teams out there when they play really tough opposition, they create some chances. And I just haven't seen him do it consistently enough for me. So does he deserve a 3-year contract? Absolutely not, in my opinion. There has to be there has to be something he has to show developmentally as a coach, and I don't think he's done it yet. My opinion.
All right. Well, as Caio suggested, I'm gonna bring us back to this subject when the season finishes, or at least when it's close to finishing. The whole tactical thing, we wouldn't have time for it right now, but if you want, I can sort it out so that I lock you on a stream with Nitesh and Caio. They'll probably explain the tactics behind it. But
I am up for a long show. I told you I have to wait for breakfast.
Well, some people do sleep. It's not I know you don't. Let's go to this. I'm excited about this one. I feel like there's a couple of fair shouts. I have 2 names that stand out in my mind, but I want to hear both the chats. If you're in the chat, if you're watching, please let us know who you think is the Arsenal Player of the Month for the month of February. But I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts? Lucas, let's start with you. Who do you feel like is our best player? If you want to name a couple and then just say your favorites, that's fine. No rules there.
I think it's a tough one. I think Odegaard has played very well. I think he's always just so good, even though he doesn't always come up with the assists or the goals. I think he just makes the team work. He's the one that brings everything together.
Yeah.
And then I think Saka would also have to be for me up top. He scored goals, all creating chances. So yeah, I think those two. But I think Odegaard has for me that team doesn't function without him.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna just because you named mine, so I'm gonna go there. Odegaard's my player of the month as well. I don't necessarily agree that Saka is one of the shouts. Like I feel like I'd put the other name that I was thinking about is Ben White. I feel like those are the two like bigger contenders for me. Kayu smiling. But I agree with Odegaard. I feel like he's so crucial and it goes unnoticed every now and then. People don't realize how important he is because he's not scoring the goal, giving the assist. But like that pass right before the assist, it happens very often. He does a job defensively as well. I'm a big fan. I said this in the beginning of the season. 30 mil for Odegaard, that's a steal. It's one of the best pieces of business I've ever seen Arsenal do. I mean that. Recently, because like money was different back in the Henry days. Gary, who's your player of the month?
Yeah, I mean, Erdegaard and Partey are at least some of the names that stood out when I kind of look back at the games.
Yeah,
Saka has had he's not been a player that's like seems to taken over games. He does disappear, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think he should be playing as much. I know there's weeks between games, but I kind of feel like it's more mental than it is anything physical. So for me, Saka shows glimpses, just like Pepe shows glimpses when he's on the pitch, but I didn't see it a lot. We only played 3 games, but for me, between like Partey and Erdegaard, I think those are the two that stood out. I mean, Partey has made it such that we don't have to. We've pushed Xhaka up the pitch now, right, and that's really good. I mean, that means he can't do too much damage in front towards the goal. So I think you're noticing that. I know it's if you're noticing that, it's like okay,
don't underestimate Xhaka's ability to fuck it up.
No, he's further away from the goal, so it's actually better, right?
Yeah.
And and he's allowed Xhaka and Erdegaard kind of sit out there and have a little bit in front of him. So Partey's done enough. I don't think that's his preferred position, but he's done really good there. So between the two, but I think Erdegaard has from where he was early in the season to now, I think he's had a big step up because Martinelli kind of was looking really good in January, and Partey and Erdegaard look better this time. Erdegaard, I mean, if you just watch, I went back and watched some of the games a second time, and the stuff that he's doing, you don't even notice. It's like the work, before the pass, before the assist, and the shot that he's doing. So Erdegaard would get it for me.
All right, awesome. Mm-hmm. So like three votes for Odegaard so far. Partey is definitely a fair shout as well. He's been really good. Mm-hmm. It took him a long time to start playing really well on a consistent basis, but he's been solid for a while now. Nitesh.
Yeah, my shout is Thomas Partey, because even in the last game he was toying with that Wolves midfield, and people were saying a lot of things about Neves doing this and Neves doing that. And as Gary said, Xhaka is finally a free bird. He cannot cause any kind of destruction. We can sleep well at night because of Thomas Partey. Eventually, that guy shouldn't be near our defense. Yes, he's improved as well, but he's not defending. So I think that part of his game is Xhaka's game is. I don't think that is the main troublesome part of his game, and that has happened because of Partey. And overall, linking up with Odegaard and some of the young guys, some of the passes he's played, I think they have been very good as well, even in the Wolves game. The only unfortunate part is he needs to stop shooting. And if he can probably do that, I think we can get a lot more goals, because when he takes that shot, instead if he looks for a better pass, I think that can contribute well. Because teams aren't scared of his shots anymore. So they are like, okay, if Thomas Partey is taking a shot, let him take a shot. It's better than maybe an Odegaard or a Saka or Smith Rowe taking a shot. So I think that is something that he can work on, even though Arteta even laughed about it in his recent interview. And I think Saka not just tired this season. I think they are crowding him out. In the last few months, I think teams are crowding him out, managers are crowding him out, and they're not letting him play his game. That is where the space opens up for the likes of Odegaard as well. So I think Saka is doing a different kind of job. And but yes, Odegaard and Partey are the two top names, but I will go with Partey.
Awesome. Awesome. By the way, like he's been mentioned a lot, and let me. I'm going to be controversial. Xhaka has had a very solid month. He should have a fair shout. But for me, it's more Nodegaard. Xhaka's been good. He's been good. But I don't think he's one of the. I put Ben White, Partey, Odegaard, maybe even Ramsdale ahead of him. Not
I
too sure.
I think the fact that Xhaka is even mentioned in the conversation is fair enough to him.
What?
The fact that he's mentioned in the conversation is fair enough to him. That is us being fair enough to Xhaka.
And that's where it stops, right? It stops right there.
Bro, Gav, who's your player of the month?
For me, it's Thomas Partey, but on the Odegaard thing, like I'm still not there completely with him, and I still think there's a lot. That's the most important position, or like of our like team. So I feel like I expect a little bit more, but he's getting better though. Like compared to like months ago, much better. Like there's a lot of like he's taking a lot more risks now, I think, and that's one thing I'll give him credit for. But there's still definitely, if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, that is like the most pivotal position. So he has to like, we have to like get that like to be our like best player. But for now, like I'm going with Thomas Partey because I think he's with the criticism he's faced since coming back from AFCON and everything. I think he's had like the best like month, but best couple games. So I'm going with that. Good shot, Gary. Bye.
I should like I'd argue with that, saying that he's probably been our most important player for a good couple months, more than Odegaard. I know
I
you're
think
saying like you expect even more, but I think he's probably been our most important player recently.
Yeah, like he's gotten better. Like I get that. Like I mean, but all right, most
Not-
important in how?
Go ahead.
Most important how?
not getting into the tactical side of thing, I think the Smith Rowe injury has helped him because Smith Rowe, and I'm not getting into it in detail, but just a glimpse of the tactical things that Marley was talking about is Smith Rowe and Saka are carriers of the ball. Martinelli is more like a runner. He can run behind defenses. So Odegaard can play that kind of pass to him because if it was Smith Rowe, he would be from maybe in our section of the you can play and carrying the ball forward, just like what Saka does as well. So Martinelli is one guy who runs behind defenders and he just runs crazy. So I think that has also helped Odegaard because now he can play that pass to a Martinelli rather than having a Smith Rowe who would be next to him and trying to carry the ball forward.
Caio, from your smile, I think I know who you're gonna say, but who's your player of the month?
Yeah, I won't waste my opportunity. Steven is not here, so I will say Ben White. Because, yeah, no, from Arsenal's shortlist, I would say Thomas Partey. He's now starting to take responsibility and play with more confidence, and we know the kind of player he can be. Actually, we needed him to be this player every time since he arrived here, and unfortunately many injuries and some confidence issues. So Thomas Partey, the enabler, the most influential in the midfield, and right now he's almost playing alone there. I know the guys mentioned about Xhaka playing higher up in the field, so Thomas Partey that would be my shout. But if I can choose a name that is not in Arsenal's shortlist, I would say Ben White, because I also think that he's so solid and I think he's also an enabler. And I don't know. I think Ben White should be in the short list more than Martinelli and more than Saka.
Yeah,
And White was sleepy in that Wolves goal, I thought. It wasn't a good pass from Gabriel, but I think Ben White
Yeah,
should have been more on it.
yeah.
and
I think
Ramsdale too. I feel like
yeah,
He
Ramsdale
has
yeah.
could
played
too.
very well. I'll give you that. He has played very well, but I think it was that one thing that just took him off, in my opinion, at least.
That's fair.
It was a bad pass, but he could have been. He wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, even if you don't count that one mistake, I think Gabriel would have been in the list as well. But
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
he gave away that silly goal, he's out of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like Gabriel, and I've been
There was
saying
only
this for
3
a
games,
while.
right, this month.
Yeah, yeah. Gabriel was my bet for player of the season in the beginning of the season. I still feel like he has a good chance because in general he's the most consistent player in the entire team. He really is, but he has that odd mistake, right? Like a silly red card that he gets every once in a while. This really bad pass that cost us a goal. But in general, dude, I feel like if he gets rid of those mistakes, he's one of the best defenders in the world, and perhaps the best defender we've seen at Arsenal since the Campo days. Like
Yeah.
he's that good. I have a lot of faith in GMag.
I mean, that's that's not necessarily a problem, but that's just where we are. We have to kind of be patient because we've got some really talented and skilled players.
Yeah.
They're just not. They don't need to be in this position right now, though. In reality, if we were much further ahead in kind of our progress as a squad, as a team, they wouldn't have to play as much. They wouldn't have to be dependent on as much. And of course, they would probably get rid of some of these silly mistakes because they would have somebody to look up to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think when Louise was there for Gabriel, I thought that was a really good move on Arsenal's part because he definitely showed them, here's what you can do from that center back position, and I think that helped. I would have liked to have seen it one more year, but I think it helped for the time that they were together.
Yeah. All right.
How many mistakes are
we're
we? Sorry, how many mistakes are we talking about? By the way, like when you think about it, like every defender makes a mistake, right?
He's gotten
It's one
two
of the hard-
reds. He's gotten 2 reds for reasons that
Yeah, but
he could have controlled. He should have
one of
known
them-
better.
the Man City one, yeah, like. But at the same time,
like
yeah, go
because
ahead.
I love him so much, I defended him a lot in that Man
Yeah.
City situation. I mean, he deserved the cards he got, but then again, like that PK wasn't even a PK where he was like doing something to the spot. That's why he got a yellow card. And if it wasn't for another mistake from the ref, even blocking Martinelli from taking a good shot, then like the next play he got a yellow card. So it was all very circumstantial, but he did 2 silly things that led to 2 yellows. That's a red card. And he got another one that I forgot when, but it was quite silly as well. And this one, like, he cost us the goal. Like Ben White could have done better, Ramsdale could have done better, but Gabriel cost us the goal. So that's 3 mistakes already. Still feel like he's gonna be one of the best players. But guys, just because we're doing well with time, I'm gonna add another thing that wasn't planned. Do you feel like because of this shift in Partey's like what he does for us, like there's been a tactical change there? We're gonna start looking at different players because we're looking at more like DMs, right? Like Bruno Guimarães, that's a DM, like that's a exceptional number 6. I was saying like my favorite one now would be André from Fluminense. That's like his best position is number 6. I feel like now Arsenal's probably gonna start looking at number 8s a little more, or like more box to box. Do you feel like that's gonna make a huge change in the targets we have? Whoever wants to start, because that's kind of a tricky.
I mean, I feel like Arteta likes to have versatility in his players, so he's going to ask them to do multiple things. We see it all the time. Players sometimes having to go. I mean, right now we've got a striker who sometimes will end up on the back line. And he seems to be okay with that, right? So I kind of feel like versatility is something he likes. I don't see him change the formation enough to say yes, it's going to work, but I think he likes that in his players. So we just need more of whatever we can get, as far as I'm concerned. So give me an 8, give me a 6, give me another 10. We just need to. Our depth is the issue for me right now, anyway. So I just want more.
Lucas.
Yeah, I would say probably an 8. I think Partey always wanted to play this position. I think that's why he came. I think he likes being the guy in front of the defense, running around like crazy and just tackling and making passes. I think that's what he came for. But I think we also need someone who can, a box to box, and who can also track back and help out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who that would be. I think it's a tough question.
The name that we're most linked with now is Fabian Ruiz, right? From
Yeah,
Napoli.
he would be a good signing.
Yeah. Oh, he'd be really good. He'd be really good. With that being said, would you be happy with Andre at Arsenal?
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. But Andre, he's better as a six. I think he's better
He
as a.
is.
He is. But I think we need someone for there. I think we just need someone solid. I don't think we need someone who's young and full of potential. I think we need to bring someone who can play right away. That's why I would even take someone like Ruben Neves. He's been in the Premier League. He knows what it's like, even though he talked some shit recently. But I think you just need to bring someone in who you can play. I would take James Ward-Prowse. I think he's a great player, and he knows the league. I think you just need someone who can come in and just make an impact.
Right. Yeah, fair shouts. Fair shouts. I think I'd take both of them too. Caio, Nitesh, anything?
Yeah, the only multitasking thing that I want Zaka to do is be in Italy and be an Arsenal fan. That's the only multitasking thing that I'm expecting from him. I mean, this month of the season, he's doing fine. But what about the past months of the season? If we had won like maybe a couple of more games and we win our games in hand, we would have actually been title contenders in this season. Because if you look at the points, if Manchester United manages to beat Manchester City, we still have 4 games in hand. If we win all of those, we are like 9 points behind them. So if we had won like a couple of more games out of games that we lost, we could have been actually title contenders. I know it's a bit too much. I'm not going there, but I'm just saying that that could have happened. So the likes of Zaka need to be professional enough right through the season and not just right now. So I think Thomas Partey now, he is showing that he can play even as a defensive midfielder to an extent. He loves going forward, but if he's, you can say he's structured there to be in that one single position, and we get a number 8 who can float around like a. I think Bissouma was one good shout, but the problem is he had that case against him, so none of the teams have touched him. And if we can get a player like Bissouma, or the other way around, I think one thing that Arteta needs to do is fix and define a role for Partey that you will have to play like this. And the other signing that needs to come in has to be the opposite of that. You can't have both of them floating around, which is like has been seen in the past with Kante and Kovacic. They don't generally exist well together. That is why Chelsea keeps bringing in Jorginho into the team at times to play certain teams where Jorginho is the guy at the base of the midfield and these guys float around. So if Thomas Partey is going to be our guy at the base of the midfield, then we should look for someone who can progress with the ball forward and attack. If he's going to be the guy moving forward, then replace Zaka with a good defensive midfielder, and we are done.
Okay. So basically, you feel like if he stays, like if he keeps playing in the same position, then yeah, we should adapt and look for a slightly different target. Caio, do you agree with that?
I don't know, really. It's a complex situation, I think. We ideally, I would say that Arsenal need options for the 8th position, but also for the 6th position. So we have Lokonga, and I think that Arteta sees him as a replacement for the future. And we have Smith Rowe, that I think Arteta is trying to mold him to be the number 8 also, because Smith Rowe is so he can do so many things well. He can carry the ball, he can shoot from distance, he can exploit the back line of the opponent. So, but none of these players are ready to play there. I think that in this window in specific, I think Arsenal will go for a hybrid much like Partey, because I would even say that Partey is much more an 8 than a 6, and now he's starting to play as an 6, and he's playing well, okay, but I think that Arteta will go for another player like that, a player that will be much better than Xhaka as an 8, but that could also play in a double pivot with Partey in specific games. So, and that's Bruno Guimarães. And that's André for me also. You know my opinion on André. I don't know. I don't think that he's a lone 6. I think that he's an hybrid of 6 and 8. So I don't know. Let's see.
I
Just
I
want,
like throwing
sorry.
that into the universe, just so
You
maybe
know,
there's a
what?
chance we'll have.
One player who can be molded into a good 8 is Nuno Tavares. I personally feel that
I think
because
Lacazette could be molded into a good number 8 as well.
no, he can't run.
Bargav, do you have anything to say on this matter? Because I got to move on to
Yeah,
the
like I
Watford
mean, I
game.
think about it. Like if we have all the money in the world this summer and we get like our targets, I think for me, like somebody I really would want is Jude Bellingham. I think he fits the bill for that position. Like he's the perfect target for that. Frank Kessie, another one. Great. I think he fits the bill for that too. But apart from that, like
And
we
I
go
think
rate
he's out of
Barcelona.
contract in the summer, right?
What'd you say?
I think Kessié is out of contract in the summer.
Yeah,
so
Kessie's
I
out.
think he's
Yeah,
gonna go to Barcelona.
but I think I would definitely
Oh,
go for
he's going to
Bellingham, like
Barcelona?
to be 1 like,
It's not done yet, but it's
Okay.
Barcelona are doing well now. There's talks that they just offered him 5 years.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I think that's like in the works, and that's like their big target for the summer. But for me, like Jude Bellingham, like we should go for it, like full blown. Like I think he would be that star at Arsenal for the coming years. Like I think he would be perfect for this. When you look at it, obviously we need another striker, yes, and there's definitely gonna be like many things about that, but like we have to get 2 players, I think, and I think Bellingham would be like that player for years if we make that investment. But the other ones, if we don't and we invest in that striker that and we go full blown, and I have no idea who that's going to be because like I can't see like the biggest strikers coming here. Then I'm gonna like look at like rating like Barcelona or like some academy, some Madrid academy, just to see who could come. Like Busquets is gonna be like, I'm pretty sure Busquets is gonna be like on the way out soon. He'll be like good for a year if just in case there's a stopgap. Yeah, but I just can't. That position is gonna be kind of pivotal, but I don't know. That's my opinion on it.
Okay. Okay. You were talking about the striker. We don't have time to talk about this, but I feel like Jonathan David is becoming more and more likely of joining Arsenal next season. But let's move on to the Watford game. We have a game coming. Oh, why is it not showing? On Sunday, it's 11 a.m. for me, so I'm thinking it's 2 p. Oh, Jesus, I can't put the banner up. Stay. It stayed. Okay. Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time, 11 p.m. for me, 9 a.m., 11 a.m. for me, 9 a.m. to my American fellas here. I have no idea what time that is for Nitesh.
7:30
that's
p.m.
there 7:30.
p.m. Yeah,
So
5.5 hours
the
ahead
30
of
the
UK.
30 confuses me. The time zone is like split in, what do you mean?
India is 5.5 hours ahead of UK.
Oh, 5.5 hours. Okay. I did
Yeah.
not know that. It's different. Right. So what are your guys' thoughts for this game? It shouldn't be too hard. I know they just got a draw against United. United is not doing well. That doesn't mean a lot. They have a phenomenal young striker in João Pedro that came from the best youth setup in the world, but he hasn't been doing too well. They don't have their best player. Best player for many is Malassar. And it's looking doom and gloom for them. I feel like Watford's going to get relegated. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Are you very confident? Let's start with you, Gary.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we should be confident. I think there are things we need to work on, and we cannot keep them in the game. So the first 30 minutes have to be ours, and we have to, as they say, some people say we need to finish our dinner. We need to put a lot of pressure on them. I think our defense will keep them away from the goal. We've been pretty solid back there, but going forward, I think we need to, when we're in front of, we need to be clinical. So shots on target would be really nice because that's where we lack. We lack a lot of shots on target. So once we get that going, I think we'll be okay. I'm hoping that, like I said, that last 20, 30 minutes of the last match, they can, I like to say, let's build on what we did last. If they can look at that and go, we can do that versus most teams. We'd like to see that again. So, yeah, I'm hoping to see some goals from, some people who haven't had goals yet. Many have said maybe Partey will actually get that first goal. And then, the skies will open up and everything will, be just right. But we'll see. But, yeah, I expect
the skies are very clear, mate. That's where he shoots every single shot he takes. He needs to clear up the path to the goal, not the skies.
Yeah. So no, so I think we should be able to get this game. I can see everybody said they like the fact that we have weeks, lots of days between games, but 10 is too much, right? I mean, you kind of lose whatever you just built up in the last game, and then you have to start all over again. So I assume we're going to start slow, but we need to be starting really fast. I mean, I like to see us pull players off because the game should be the 3 points should be ours, and we're just kind of managing for the next set of games that we have. But yeah, it should be an easy. I'm expecting an easy win for us. We should get the win for sure.
All right, Lucas, you echo those feelings.
Yeah, I don't think I have much more to add to that. I think I actually went to the game when we played them at home. I went here in London, and man, they were beating the shit out of us in terms of just like going for tackles, and then every time we tackled them, they would go to the ground for ages. And so yeah, I hope we can smash them this time. Last time it was that game that Aubameyang took Odegaard's goal, if you remember.
Yeah,
but no, I think it'll be I'm not expecting a huge scoreline. I would say easy 2-0 win. I think by the beginning of the second half we'll be 2-0 up. We can bring some other players in. I think we need to give some of the bench players some rhythm. I think Lokonga hasn't played in a long time. I think we need to give some people some rhythm. But so yeah, I think a 2-0 confident win.
All right. Well, I was gonna go to score predictions later on, but you've given me earlier. Danny Rose was a very big figure in that game. Like he got close to killing Saka. I think the thing with a free throw where Claudio Ranieri complained as well. It started with him.
So I was at the game. I was at the game with my girlfriend. I'll tell the story very quickly. And they were doing that all the time. Every time we tackled them, we touched them, they would go to the ground and they want us to kick the ball out. And then when Danny Rose was down, as soon as he fell down, I told my girlfriend we shouldn't give the ball back because they keep doing this over and over again. And then we didn't give the ball back and we scored.
Nice.
Yeah, that was annoying, but I think they're going to get relegated. I don't even hold anything against them for that because they're just bad.
Yeah, actually, like because of João Pedro, I actually sympathize with Watford. I don't want them to go down, but I want them to do well after the Arsenal game, not now. But yeah, I'm very confident too. Caio, what are your feelings towards this game?
Yeah, I think we will win the game easily. Also, look, I have said here many times that I don't rate United and I don't rate Tottenham, and United had a lot of chances against them in the last game. And I was just looking at the highlights of the game, and Watford, they give too much space in the flanks, and this won't be good against Arsenal because we tend to overload in the flanks and try and go for the cross. And of course, they have the two wingers always stay high up the pitch so they can exploit the space left behind. But I don't think this will be good for them. I think that we are much better. We have technical security. We are much better at holding the ball and playing from the back and in the middle. So I think that they will be killed in the flanks, and I expect even higher score than 2-0. I would say 3-4-0.
All right. Brogav.
Yeah, like I mean, this is at Vicarage Road if I remember. So you have to remember, like this is a derby. It's they up their levels usually when they play Arsenal, and at home, I think I can see them like absolutely putting up a fight, same as like the previous one. So they're used to like putting up fights. I'm gonna say this is gonna be a tough game, like 1-0. On the João Pedro comment, like that I think they got the best chant for that guy. By the way, I was on like I saw some like Watford like watch along earlier,
Yeah.
and it's like he comes from Sao Paulo, like si senor, like they go full blown with that chant with João Pedro. But for me, like yeah, like Watford's like for me, I think is a tough team. I thought they'd do better than this right now, but I think they've had like some internal issues, coaching and everything. Obviously, they replaced managers like left and right. But for me, like I can see them putting up a fight. So I'm gonna say like one.
Now, don't give me your score prediction yet, because that's what we're gonna wrap up with. But yeah. Yo, Lucas, actually, we had a little stream. Maddie had a couple of Watford fans a couple weeks earlier, and I asked them about João Pedro. It seems that he's like very well regarded there. They look at him as being a future like better player than Richarlison, which is like Richarlison's a great Premier League player. I don't agree with that, by the way, but I'm happy they look at him that way.
I found the chant, by the way. The chant.
You found it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I found the chant. There's something that the horns want you to know. Best in the world, and his name is João Pedro. Costa Simil. Watford's golden boy comes from Brazil. Si senor, give the ball to João and he will score.
Wow, that's
Nah,
a
I think
long
that wasn't the.
It's actually
I don't
pretty
think
nice,
I had
I'm not gonna
the
lie.
rhythm quite right, but I tried my best.
First time I heard that, I was like, damn, like obviously I've seen some like football chants be real cool, but no, I rate
love
that
it.
guy, by the way, João Pedro. I think Troy Deeney said like he was the most surprising player at Watford, like when he left. And I see him doing like bits in the future. So
Yeah, I mean, number 10 at Watford. He's really young Brazilian player, number 10 already. I feel like he has a good future. Nitesh, last one. What are your thoughts for this game?
Yeah, so far I've not seen much from him. I think the chant is more cooler than his overall play so far that I've seen at the club. But the only one player that I want at Arsenal from Watford is Dennis. So no two ways about it. I've even tweeted it out. He's the next best thing coming from Nigeria after Kanu. I personally like his overall play. He's what Alex Iwobi wanted to be in his life, but he couldn't. So Dennis has had a great season so far. I think he is something that we need to be well aware of. Our defense could have problems because he likes to run for 90 minutes straight. If it may be the 89th minute or the 92nd minute, this guy will be running up and down the flanks. And if Joshua King is able to find him with the pass, then our defense could be in trouble because they tend to be lazy at times. So overall, I think we may end up getting maybe a one prediction at the end. But yeah, so the overall thing is, I think we need to be aware, and it will be a very, you can say, a physical game where we will have to maintain our energy levels till the end. Because if our team goes to sleep at any point of time in the game, they can punish us because it's an away game and we tend to have certain issues with away fixtures.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good point. I'm gonna start with you, so don't go anywhere. But Maddie says smash the like. So thank you so much for watching. I think he means this to you, Lucas. I think he clipped you like singing the João Pedro clip. The chant. Yeah.
Am I gonna get on the Football United cuts now?
Yeah, perhaps there's a good chance. We don't have that segment, but we might start now. All right, guys. So let's go with score predictions to close the show. It's gonna go slightly over the hour. It's a good amount of time. Nitesh, score prediction for the game. If you guys in the chat want to give us your score predictions as well.
I think we'll score 2 goals, then we'll sit back, and in the end we may concede one. So 2-1 to Arsenal. 2-1 win to Arsenal.
It's a sensible prediction. Bargav?
is Ismail Assar playing?
No.
From what I see, like it's like he's gonna be injured. So
He's not playing. He's not playing.
all right. So then I'm like, yeah, I'm going 1-0 Arsenal. Hopeful for 2-0, but like I'm gonna go with 1-0
Right?
for like a
Gary.
right one.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go bold here. I'm thinking 3-0. I think, like I said, I think we need to come out the gates, as fast as we can and shut up the crowd and basically put a lot of pressure on them. So whenever, so by halftime, it's just a matter of getting through the next 45 without any injuries. So I think that's what we need to do. I mean, I think our defense has had lapses, especially in the last game, and hopefully they've learned from that and they're ready to show us a much better game where we don't have any of those gaffes. So yeah, 3-0.
Right. 3-0. Right, to finish off with 3 Samba predictions, 3 Brazilian predictions here. Lucas, you said 2-0 before.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
think
sticking with
too.
that?
I think we'll start a bit physical. I think maybe it'll be a bit of a slow start, but I think 2-0. I would expect us kind of halfway through the second half to already be 2-0 up, and then just ride it out to the end.
All right. And Caio?
Yeah, I was going for the 3-0, but as we already have this score given, I will be more specific then. I will say 3-0, and we go 1-0 in the first half and 2 goals in the second half.
All right. I'm gonna go with 3-1 because I don't want to repeat. I don't want to repeat any predictions here. I've been good at predicting the goal scorer. I'm not feeling as confident as I was in the past. I'm not sure I should say anything. I think ESR is gonna get a goal, but from 3 goals, that's like it's. There's a good chance he's the highest score player in the team this season. So that was it, guys. That was it. Great show. A lot of people watching throughout. I feel like they enjoyed it because they were here like throughout the whole time. I hope you guys liked it as well. I'm gonna give each one of you a chance to say if you want anyone to follow you anywhere, like if you want to give any final words. Let's start with you, Gary. You're always welcome on the channel. I'm trying to put you on solo layout. My computer's not letting me.
And
There
okay,
you
didn't
go.
stay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So here we go. Yeah, so
You're coming back. There you go.
DWTT, as my friends call me, Gary. You can find me on DWTT, and if you type in DWTT Arsenal, I should come up first. I have my own channel. Don't Waste a Tweet is my handle, and I'm a regular on Arsenal Fan Circle 2 days a week. Thank you for
Awesome.
having me, Marley, and thank you to the panel. I enjoyed this discussion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hopefully it was the first of many.
Yep.
Brogav, mate, where can we find you? I know you've been laying
you'll
low
see me
lately.
on YouTube. Occasionally pop up here and then. Not really like it's kind of sporadic when people ask me, but the biggest thing is like this coming Friday is like Big Yellow Friday.
Yep.
So like there'll be a really fun stream this on Friday. So I'm pretty sure like a lot of people here like will be a part of it. I mean, I'm sure Charlie's gonna be a part of it. DWTT, you coming on there too? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah.
And then so it's gonna be a really fun stream. So definitely check it out. A lot of proceeds going to like charity, so it's always really a lot of good people working behind the scenes trying to make that happen. So that's the only thing I want to say.
Yeah, that's on Feetly TV, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it's on
Feetly
TV. Yeah, I should probably put that like on.
Do check it out, guys. Right, who do I go to next? Nitesh, my man. What are you up
you guys
to?
can find me on Twitter at Beyond the Post. I keep tweeting out stuff. So almost 7,000 followers now. It's growing, and you can check out the YouTube channel as well. Not doing much at the moment, but I guess once we get back to working with Steven and he becomes Arteta in, I think definitely we can do a lot more shows together. And you can also check out an Arsenal page, that is Arsenal FC Fans. It has around 380k people planning to push that page as well. So that's on Facebook.
All right, man. All right. Good friend of the channel. Thank you as always for coming. So is this dude here, Caio, meu amigo. Thank you once again. Where can people find you?
Thanks, Charlie. People can find me here at AFC_FOCO. it's Portuguese content, but you can use the translate tool from Twitter. Thanks.
Right, no problem at all. And this one, guys, I mean, I'm not sure he's going to be shouting out too much, but I just want to say I'm really happy he's here. Like, we had Nick recently as well. We're from the same group of friends, but just so you guys know, this dude, like, I call him the president of our little group of friends. He's like one of the OGs of my friends. I love this guy to death, have for a long time. I'm really happy he's coming to my channel. But yeah, Lucas, my man, if you want people to find you anywhere, where is it?
Yeah, you can find me anywhere. You probably wouldn't want to find me anyway because I don't really have anything interesting to say, unless I come here and make public appearance like this. Then occasionally I'll say some interesting things like reading a chat off Twitter. But I would actually like to propose that as a new segment in your show. But yeah, no, pleasure to be here. Hope to do it again soon. Really fun to do this for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hopefully, same as Gary. Hopefully, the first of many, man. You're always welcome. Like you're always welcome anywhere I am. You know that.
Clipped on his first show. That's a first.
Yeah. Well, like I should say, like he's very welcome anywhere I go because I've slept in his house like for a good 1 month at the very least back in the Miami days for multiple circumstances. So yeah, good times, man. Good times. I miss those days. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this. It's been so fun. One of my favorite Gunners from All Corners of all time. Really exciting. And I hope the next one is as positive with another win. And I'll try to get like as exciting of a panel as it was this time. Guys, until next time, ciao.